Now, hey everybody, welcome to Trivia Ronin. I'm your host, Matt McNelly, and whether you're joining us live on Zoom or Twitch or after the fact on YouTube, welcome. We're happy to have you. Quick breakdown of the rules. 1, we are an honor code trivia here, which means you keep your own score. Feel free to cheat. You get nothing. 2, after each question, you're going to get 35 seconds to answer. This is for smarty pantses. Absolutely don't show your answer until the time is up. And for Twitch, folks, you know the drill. Wait until about 5 seconds left on that timer before you put your answer in the chat. Don't give it away. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, it's the end of Hispanic Heritage Month. It starts September 15th through October 15th. It is a month long, but it is between 2 months on the calendar. So tonight is the end of it, so we're going to do a bit of trivia related to that. So there's 10 questions related to Latinx trivia, Hispanic trivia, and then 10 questions. Round 2 is going to be throwback questions I've already asked. So if you know them, you should. If you played, you should know them. And then third, we're gonna do Wayla, also Latinx related. That's gonna be fun. And then I have a spooky story because it's Halloween season. So without further ado, I don't think Doug reads the Twitch chat, to be honest, QVC. I don't know what's happening because I talked a lot of trash last time I played. Anyway, without further ado, let's play Trivia Ronin. Question number 1. Latinx Heritage Month begins on September 15th in part to commemorate the Cry of Dolores, the impetus for which nation's War of Independence. 35 seconds. And now I say partly because the other part of it is September 15th is the actual Independence Day of several Central American countries. But perhaps by coincidence, the Cry of Dolores is also at the same time. So there you have it. 14 seconds left. September 15th commemorates the Cry of Dolores. Dolores is the name of a city, just so you know. And it relates to a 2-1 show. Yes. Of course, we're going to start with what you think we're going to start with. QVC, good guess, but it is actually Mexico, and it is a Seinfeld plotline that is correct. James is right. Mexico is the right answer. Don't overthink it. Question 2. In 1970, the Latinx population comprised 5% of the entire United States. Within 3%, what was it as of the 2020 census? This is a good old-fashioned guesser. Just guess. I'll give you a hint. It's more than 5%. So 50 years after 1970, what? Where are we at? Dolores! I remember. In 1970, as of that census every 10 years, in case that comes up, 5% of the entire United States, within 3%. What was it as of 2020? Any guesses? 20% is a good guess, QVC. Over here, we got 30%. It's also a good guess. 20 is a better guess, though, because it's 19%. So if you guess 20, you got it. 19% of this great nation considers themselves Hispanic or Latino or Latinx. Question 3. The now ubiquitous margarita is a tequila-based riff on this almost forgotten brandy cocktail from which it takes its name. Darcy can just take this one and walk with it. Exactly. There it is. Oh, just to be clear, it's a tequila margarita. Thank you, Cutwater Spirits. I guess a mezcal margarita is a thing, but still. We're going to assume the now ubiquitous margarita is not original. Nothing in this world is, really. It's a riff on a brandy-based cocktail. What was the name of that? Also, if you know what margarita means in English, write it here. And you will get it. You will get the point. But if you didn't know that, give me your answer due Daisy, as we say. It's called a daisy, was the original name for the proto-margarita. Brandy, Cointreau, citrus, yada yada. Question 4. Although ironically the title translates to slowly, this Spanish language song by Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee was one of the biggest hits of 2017. What song we talking about? Darcy's already dancing to it. She knows. One of the biggest hits of 2017, Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee, featuring someone else that I won't say. Emily, apparently Hollywood's internet has been garbage for many, many people. Spectrum is bad. And they're so thirsty to have me back. It's very funny. Spectrum sends physical people to our apartment to try and get us to switch back. And I will not. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. The answer is, of course, Despacito. Or slowly Despacito. Despacito. You remember that song. If you don't, there you go. While the Olmec, Maya, and Aztecs were all formidable in their heydays, the largest pre-Columbian civilization by landmass was what empire? Not Roman, not galactic. Which empire? Nailed it, Emily. Despacito. We're going to assume you got that in before your internet crapped out. Before you got the answer. While the Olmec, Maya, and Aztecs were all formidable in their heydays, the largest pre-Columbian civilization by landmass was what empire? Pre-Columbian, meaning prior to Columbus's arrival, in case you're wondering. If you weren't, then don't worry about it. Was it 13%? Sorry, Emily, we lost you. It was actually 19%, so you just missed it. Just missed it by 3. Yes, 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 show it. Yep. The Incan Empire, or the Incans, they made Machu Picchu and some good potato-based dishes. Question 6. In 1976, the federal government codified the term Hispanic to mean descendants from Spanish-speaking countries, excluding those from which South American nation? Duh. Seems like a big miss here. And in case you're wondering, folks from this country are considered Latinx or Latino or Latina, depending on if they choose to gender themselves or not, but they are not considered Hispanic by this definition. That is your spiel on identity. Also, just to be clear, you can identify however you want to identify. Just a reminder. Be yourself. Yep, show them. Yep, of course. Everybody speaks Spanish, but one nation speaks Portuguese, and it's Brazil. The Brazilians speak Portuguese, so they ain't Hispanic, technically. Same thing with the Haitians. They speak French. Question 7. Mexican Carlos Slim Elu was the world's richest man from 2010 to 2013. In what industry did he make his fortune? 35 seconds. Carlos Slim Elu. He made a fortune in one industry. What was it? By the way, still rich. Just not the richest. But do you really want to be the richest man in the world? Only if you're going to space. Two-one. What did he do? How he make his money? QVC nailed it. Oh, so close. He was in charge of all Mexican telecoms, pretty much. He ran a telecom company, several, and made a whole bunch of money. And that is how you get rich. Tobacco is a great guess, but you know, I feel like times is hard to make tobacco money. Question number 8 is right here. Pura vida is the national motto of what country, known for its surfing and commitment to sustainability? 35 seconds. If you've been here, you've probably heard someone say this. Or maybe you've seen it on a bumper sticker. Either way. I know, it's hard to make money in tobacco now. Unless you're making vapes, I guess. Pura vida! The national motto of what country? Known for good surfing and commitment to sustainability. Also, excellent healthcare. True story. Their life expectancy is more than in the United States. also known for Toby Flenderson having a bad vacation there. The answer is, of course, Costa Rica. Costa Rica, everybody. Panama's a good guess. It's right near there, but it's Costa Rica. Question 9. This city, the de facto capital of Bolivia, although not the legal one, is considered to be the highest city in the world at 11,942 feet. And if you think you know the capital of Bolivia, you probably know it. The legal capital is called Sucre. Learned that looking up this question. Apparently it's where the judicial branch is. It's where the Supreme Court is. But the legislature and the executive are based in this town, one of the highest cities in the world, if not the. I don't know what the city definition is. I think it's just there's a bunch of people. To be a city, maybe you need to have, like, buses. I guess. The city has a cable car. No. I'm so sorry. So, oh, good. QVC was going to guess the wrong answer than I told. So now you guessed the right answer. It's La Paz, Bolivia. La Paz is the capital in your mind of Bolivia. Nailed it. So glad I helped QVC out with that. Question 10. More math. Another math question. Within 5, what percentage of Latinx people living in the United States are United States citizens? 35 seconds. What percentage overall? So obviously in the census, we count heads. Some folks live here. Some folks live here legally or illegally, but legally as perhaps a citizen of Mexico. But how many of them who consider themselves Latinx/Hispanic are citizens of these United States? Within 5 percentage points. Again, take a guess. Part of the fun. Part of the fun of trivia. Taking a guess. Stab in the dark. Anybody got a guess? Show them. Good guess. Good guess. QVC, you missed a number. Larry, on the dot. It's 80%. 80% overall are citizens of the United States. Emily, give yourself a point. 85 counts. Congratulations, guys. That's one round down. Here we are in Hispanic Heritage Month. Next round for all of you are regulars on this thing, so you have at some point probably heard the answer to all of these questions, depending on how bad your internet was. Take 3 minutes, hang out. We'll probably take a shot or something dumb. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. What? Huh. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Good. What is going on? I feel like Twitch might not be able to hear me. If I do this, you can hear me? Oh, good. Ooh, funky. Maybe if I just go default. All right. Am I audible? If not, put it in the chat. So, oh no, Ray Fosse died. I'm sorry to hear that. Good. Thank you, thank you. Hearing it on both ends. Ray Fosse died, everybody. That is a bummer. The man, I mean, I believe made famous by a photo, pretty much. Oh, Emily, you cannot hear me. Okay. Oh wait, now you should be able to. Good, 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 good. Yeah, that's a bummer. Ray Fosse, R.I.P. Guys, welcome back. Here we go. More questions. This time, like I said, we are doing straight up, down the line, greatest hits. Greatest hits of Matt's Trivia Ronin career. It starts with this question. Question number 11. It's the term for either a male honeybee or an autonomous, unmanned, aerial vehicle. 35 seconds. Same term. I've asked this question before. If it sounds familiar, that's why. Interesting. It's the term for either a male honeybee or an autonomous, unmanned aerial vehicle. Excellent. Emily hears me. This is good. Which one is it? One word, two definitions. What is that? Show them. The 35 seconds are up. What do we got? Yeah. Yes, everybody knew it. It's a drone. Drone. All right. Question 12. Game on. Formerly the world's tallest buildings, now tied for 17th, the twin Petronas Towers are located in what country? 35 seconds. Nice work. Everybody got that last one. Good. I love when that happens. I love it when a plan comes together. Formerly the world's tallest buildings, same height, now tied for 17th. The twin Petronas Towers are located in what country? I've asked you this question before. You got this. Darcy's on it. Darcy sees it. Sees through my charade. The twin Petronas Towers. Expecto Patronus. 2-1. What do we got? Oh, yep. Let's see him. Yep. QVC knows the city. Larry missed it. It's Malaysia. It's not Singapore. It's in Kuala Lumpur. Very confident. Sadly incorrect. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is the correct answer. Question 13. Known as the hooligan of English fashion, this British designer gained international fame for outfitting Lady Gaga in a dress made of flank steak. What's that guy's name? He's known as the hooligan of English fashion, isn't he? The late, great hooligan. This person is dead, if that helps. Although more people are dead than alive. That's just facts. That's just science. Known as the hooligan of English fashion, this British designer gained international fame for outfitting Lady Gaga in a dress made of flank steak, innit? And, like, did other things. Not just a one-steak pony, this person. Show 'em! Karl Lagerfeld's a good guess. Anybody else with a guess? Twitchy, twitchy, twitchy? 1, 2, 3. It's Alexander McQueen was the name of that person. Alexander McQueen. English. Karl Lagerfeld. Probably English. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, also English, but not a hooligan, I suppose. Charm City was a nickname dreamed up by advertisers in the 1970s to increase tourism to what mid-Atlantic metropolis? Now I'll lean over here. 35 seconds. Charm City. Charm City. Nickname is a nickname for a town, for a city. It's mid-Atlantic, so everybody there talks like this. Listen here, see? Say, everyone, what do you think about this? No, that's just an out-of-date dialect. Charm City was a nickname dreamed up by advertisers in the 1970s to increase tourism to what mid-Atlantic metropolis, and they sure needed it. Ocean City, Maryland's a great guess. Atlantic City is a great guess. It's actually not a city, although, I mean, it's not, city's not in the name. It's just Baltimore, Maryland. Balmer, Maryland, Charm City, as they say. Perhaps only in Baltimore, because I guess nobody else knew. It's called Charm City. Question 15. President Ronald Reagan was known for his addiction to what candy? A habit he started in order to give up pipe smoking. President. Wow. All right. Shots fired at Nancy Reagan here. We meant Oceans. Oh, sorry. It was Ocean City, Delaware. Then you're fine. Then you're. Sorry. Ocean City, Delaware, also Charm City. Rehoboth, Ocean City, Delaware, not Ocean City, Maryland. Ocean City, Maryland, trash. President Ronald Reagan. Again, we'll do it in. Sorry, I'll do it as Ronald Reagan. President Ronald Reagan was known for his addiction to what candy? A habit he started in order to give up pipe smoking. That's not a Ronald Reagan impression. That's just somebody whispering. Ronald Reagan loved jelly beans. And they are delicious from Atlantic City, just like the saltwater taffy. Question 16 takes up too much space. Here we go. 2020 Democratic candidate Andrew Yang campaigned for a freedom dividend, guaranteeing a UBI for every American citizen. What does UBI stand for? What does the acronym UBI stand for? DJ? We getting someone on Twitch right now? Let's see if he comes in. This will be exciting. Oh, we lost him. Oh no, what happened? How did I lose him? Oh, DJ. I thought my friend DJ was coming in, everybody. Question 16. We might get him anyway. 2020 Democratic candidate Andrew Yang campaigned for a... Oh, no, it's Dean. Hi. Universal basic income is the correct answer. Hi, Emily. Good to see you on this. Now you can see these guys. It's okay. Internet is hard. I've heard, honestly, Hollywood internet is bad right now. But good to see you. Emily, jump into Zoom. I like it. Question 17 is this. What is the Sanskrit word for I bow to you? It's used more often in India to simply mean hello, or in yoga classes to say goodbye. 35 seconds. What is the Sanskrit word for I bow to you? It's used more often in India to simply mean hello, or in yoga classes to say goodbye. Emily, if you don't have a pad, don't worry about it. You can just be on the honor system. Nothing to worry about. 3, 2, she's got it. Yep, Emily's got it. Let's see him. Y'all knew this one. Indeed. Namaste. Very, very, very good. Ah, salmon skin roll. Namaste. In bed. Question 18 is wordy. All my old questions. Too many words. A 1934 cookbook is the first recorded instance of replacing the milk in clam chowder with tomatoes. What was the geographical nickname given to that soup? 35 seconds. And by that, I mean I'm referring to the one with tomatoes. There was already one with milk. What's the one with tomatoes? The tomato-based one. What was the geographical nickname given to that soup? Is chowder a soup? Or is it a stew? You know, we'll figure it out. 3, 2, 1, show 'em. Yes, indeed. It is. Oh, no, it's the other one. It's the Manhattan one. Manhattan's tomatoes. New England is leche. The Manhattanites, they love their tomatoes. Question 19, 2-pointer. Name the two nations that nearly went to war over their disputed Himalayan border. 35 seconds. Two countries. This is from a trivia I did where I said, hey, it was like a mid-COVID, do we know the news? And so this happened at some point in 2020. There's Dean. How are you, Dean? Good to see you. I'll go to me. Hello, good to see you. The two nations that nearly went to war over their disputed Himalayan border for a hot second. Could have been bad. Because I think they both have nukes. I actually don't know if that's true. Yes. Emily knows it. I know Pakistan and India both do, but actually it's India and China. So if you got India or China, it's 1 point each. It's a 2-pointer. So there's 1 point if you got one of them. So QVC, you got one. Emily gets 2. Larry gets 1. Question 20. One fad workout in the 90s promised it only took 8 minutes for you to get what? 35 seconds. If you know what I mean. Get 8 minutes to get something. 8 minutes to get lucky. Daft Punk. To get shorty. One fad workout in the 90s promised. This is true. And show them. Yeah, 8 minutes to get fit is a great guess, but I like the illustration from Larry. It was 8-minute abs. 8-minute abs. I'm going to do 7-minute abs. Well, what if someone comes along and just does 6-minute abs? That's from Something About Mary. Perhaps you remember that. Hey, that's 2 rounds, everybody. Tally up your scores if you want. If you don't, we're having a good time. I'll see you in 3 minutes. We're probably going to do another shot or something. James is putting more quotes from Something About Mary, I believe. So keep reading those in the chat, and I will be back in 3 minutes. Bye-bye. I'll start the clock. Disney princesses, things you can stick up your ass that are nutritious, and Black history.
Hey there, and welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
And welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
I'm your host, Douglas Larlam, and I'm not wearing pants.
As of August 2019, what is the top grossing film to hold an MPAA rating of G?
It's gonna be a nice, quiet, intimate show.
She murders deaf children right after they get cochlear implants.
Don't ever forget I can kill people I think about.
We make up for it by being less creepy than Drew Carey.
Shit's going down on Twitch.
It's like 4 dementia movies. I wanted to watch them, but I forgot. Remember movies in theaters when they made money? That was the thing.
I'll make love to you.
Am I supposed to wait?
Saturday night and you're on Twitch during a pandemic. If you're not drinking, you're doing it wrong.
It's a cat toy on a reusable straw.
Fuck with that algorithm.
This is Doug's tie, by the way.
You almost don't need a gunshot to die.
Doug, you think we'll get a lawsuit out of this one?
I don't care.
Don't fuck this up, McNelly.
If you guys were just fucking dumb, I'd be better at this as a host.
It was Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4. That came out in 2019. When was that? I'm familiar. Hello, everybody. We're back. Let's do this thing. Hi, Emily. So, again, today was an event I did for the good people at Tinder. It was Latinx Hispanic focused. So we are doing Wayla questions in that same vein. So we're going to get back to it. You'll see. 10 questions. Don't worry. There's all kinds of different things, but it's nothing's going to surprise you. Let's put it that way. Some things you may not know. That's fine. Question number 1 is this. What is this animal? And just so you know, this is one of the few creatures in the Panthera family, if we're talking biology, that's indigenous to Central and South America. There she is. Cat needs to get out. So, what creature could that be? And I'll give you a hint if you're familiar with Legends of the Hidden Temple. That will help you. If you're not, it's fine. But what creature is this? Is this creature? Indeed, 2-1. We just had our local one of these, aka our house version. Yep, leopard's a really good guess because of the spots. Ocelot's a good guess. But the truth is, jaguars are the only ones indigenous to that part of the world. Question 2. Who's this guy?
Delivery.
Special delivery. O'clock. Thank you. Who's this guy? Who's this fella? Very serious in this photo. But it was the first one that popped up on Bing, so here we are. Very serious. I would just say make sure you don't throw away your shot at the answer for this one. You would know it if you were in the room where I wrote this question, where it happened. Of course, his name is Lin-Manuel Miranda. He created In the Heights. Question 3. This guy's name, just to shout it out, is Adolfo Cambiaso. He is the greatest person, living person, to play the sport he is playing. What sport is he playing? 35 seconds. He's Argentinian. He is undisputed greatest player living to play that sport. I never, ever, ever in my life want to do this. I've decided. You know, when you hit a point, you're like, I'm never going to do this. It is not, despite this being a dressage-focused trivia QVC, ironically, this is not a dressage question. The answer is not dressage. Emily, 3, 2, 1. Show him. Don't worry, everybody got this one anyway. He looks like the logo. Battle dressage. Sounds like more fun. Of course, just check the lapels of your shirt. It's polo, not lapels. Check above your nipple. Question 4, who's this guy? Perhaps you're familiar with his work. Perhaps somebody in your college dorm had a poster of this man or a shirt. Perhaps you're older and you helped overthrow an authoritarian regime with this guy. Maybe you did that. Maybe you watched a movie about his diary that he wrote while on a motorcycle. All of those things could be true. And of course, everybody knows 2-1, show 'em. This is, of course, Ernesto Guevara, a.k.a. Che Guevara. Che, because Argentinians famously put Che in between words. It's like their That's why he was nicknamed Che Guevara. You know what we do here. Here at Trivia Ronin, we give you a flag. What country's flag is this? It's going to be a guesser for most, I think. But fun fact, if you see the flag, you know when this country gained its independence. And earlier on in today's trivia, I told you how many countries got their independence on this date. The beginning of Heritage Month. It's a Central American country, if that helps. Hopefully it will. The answer is yes. Well, I mean, that's a guess, and that's a guess too. There are other guesses. I mean, you know, this was a guesser. It's Guatemala. Guatemala. El Salvador is a good guess, and it looks a lot like the El Salvadorian flag. But the El Salvadorian flag, fun fact, has El Salvador written on it, so I didn't pick that one. What beach is this? Famous from song. And you know what? Since I love you guys, I'm going to say this. This is a famous beach. Now, there's 2 famous beaches from song. This one is not about just being at it. It's more about meeting a girl from it. There's your hint. But the 2, fun fact, they're next to each other. This is also Rio de Janeiro, in case you're wondering. Long and lean and something else. It's the girl from Ipanema. Keeps calling. Of course, Ipanema. That's how you spell it if it matters, but it doesn't. You still get the point. This is a delicious snack that you can acquire at gas stations here in the Los Angeles area. Spicy. What is it? I would like the name of the snack, not the what it is like. I need sort of the corporate name of this Mexican snack food. Comes in a bag, purple bag. Flamin' hot. Not called Flamin' Hot, but it is. Who knows? I do. Because I write the questions. What are these? 2-1. Show them. Canada might have trouble with this, but I imagine you have it both. Everybody. Oh, QVC nailed it. Taquitos is what it looks like, but it is actually Takis, my friends. These are Takis. Takis. Welcome to the educational section of our night. This is the Uru people, or the Uros people, depending on who you ask. They live on a lake. They make islands out of reeds. So they're standing on reeds that they weave together and constantly remake them. And they live on the water because they were chased onto the water by the Incans back in the day. And they still live there to this day. 35 seconds. What lake do they live on? What's the name of that lake that they live on? Isn't that crazy? Like, to this day, they're like, we're not coming back to land. Those guys tried to kill us. They're like, no effing way. We got a good thing going. We weave these things out of reeds, and we just chill out. They were like, come get us. We live in the water now. They're very nice. They'll sell you things. I've seen these people. 3, 2, 1. What lake do they live on? Give a hint. It's between Peru and Bolivia. It's got a fun name. Maracaibo is a good guess. Piñata is a fun guess. It's Lake Titicaca. Good work, Emily. Lake Titicaca, everyone's favorite name for something. Who's this former dictator of Venezuela? What's his name? And just to say it here on the internet, he did not tamper in the 2020 election. He has been famously dead for almost a decade. Some people think he did. I don't know how he'd pull that off. Pretty bad to the people of his country. You're late to the dentist? Jail. Believe it or not, jail. That's my Fred Armisen impression, so it's not offensive. Go on. Yes, of course. His name is Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez. Yep, if you got Chavez, you got it. Last but not least, this is Gabriel Iglesias. He is a stand-up comedian and funny man, but he has a nickname that he goes by, famously. What is Gabriel Iglesias' nickname? Self-imposed. He says it all the time. He introduces himself as this. He's got a nickname. It sort of has to do with his size, if you know him. This is one of those you gotta know him. It's an English word. It's an English word. It's fun. It's one, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, don't worry about it. You can always guess. Gordito's a really good guess. The big guy is a good guess. Why not? QVC, I'm giving you a point because you said his nickname is Doug, and that's funny. But his actual nickname is Fluffy. Fluffy is what he goes by. He goes by Fluffy. I don't know. He's good. Look up his stuff. He's like kind of family friendly, but I like him. He's a nice guy. QVC, bonus point for being funny. That's 3 rounds, guys. Now, don't worry. I did it. There's a story. I'm not slacking anymore. So we're coming back to story time. You got 3 minutes. Go about your business. We're going to come back and Halloween stories. Spooky scary. We're always doing spooky scary. So see you shortly. Bye-bye. We're back. And we're actually on time this time. Thank you for your patience. Hello. Welcome back. That's 3 rounds down. If you want to show your scores, now's the time. You don't have to. We're having fun. We like to have fun here. It's October. It's spooky, scary season. So we have been doing spooky, scary stories for the month. And by that, I mean last week. But we started. Last week, we told the story of the jack-o'-lantern. That was fun. Little origin story on what happened there. Spoiler alert, it's a guy named Stingy John. Something like that. Anyway, you can Google it. It's great. It was a good story. I'll put it on YouTube. You'll find it. Today's story, I'm going to tell you now. Spooky, scary. I'm going to tell you a story about Ellie Kedward. Now, Ellie Kedward, one of many women throughout time who was accused of being a witch. Stop me if you've heard this one. Several folks have been accused of being a witch, Ellie Kedward being one of them. So Ellie Kedward, there's a lot of descriptions about her. Some say she had hair all over her body and wore a shawl over herself to cover this black hair all over her body. They say she had long, spindly limbs, almost inhuman. There's a lot of odd accounts, right? Because we're talking back in the day. She was actually born in the 1700s and then accused of witchcraft by the town she lived in the year 1785. And she was banished, which is what they used to do back in the day. She was sent from the town. And after she got sent from the town, according to legend, there's a bunch of weird stories about how the accusers were all kids. There were a bunch of kids who accused her of witchcraft, right? And these kids started dying strangely or disappearing or whatnot. And so several kids died, and to the point that they, according to legend, right? We're talking back in the day. So we're talking way back in the day. She was banished, and then shortly after her banishment, they found her hanging in the forest with rocks tied to her legs. And so she had been both hanging and she was stretched out, which might be this long limb thing that they're talking about. But she was stretched out. Nobody ever came forward to say they did it. It definitely wasn't a suicide, but that's how she died. And then after she was dead, these kids started dying. So the town she lives in was so scared that they move entirely. They moved, I mean, at this point, we're talking the early 1700s or the mid 1700s, but still, they moved their whole town and they rename their town. And so the town becomes called Burkittsville. So they rename it, call it Burkittsville. And then there's a bunch of, so they think they're safe for a little bit, but as with spooky stories, not so much. So a bunch of weird things happen after they move this town and rename it. A young girl named Eileen Treacle. Now, she was a young girl. She goes out to a nearby creek, a place called Tappy East Creek, during like a harvest festival they were having in the town in 1825. She's out by this creek. There are many people with her. She drowns in that creek. Not even a deep river, just a creek. Drowns, but what eyewitnesses say, the other kids around her say they saw a ghostly white hand grab her and pull her into the river. And she drowned. Super creepy. So that's one of them. They're spooked. This is right after they moved to the new town, but nothing happens for a while. 1866, though, or 1886, I'm sorry, rolls around. There's a young girl, her name's Robin Weaver, in the town. She wanders into the neighboring woods, and from what she says, she met this old woman in the woods, and she claims that the woman looked like she wasn't standing on the ground, like she was levitating above it. And the old woman leads her back to her cabin, takes her to the basement of the cabin, and says, "Wait here till I come back." And she puts Robin in this basement, and it starts getting later and later in the day and creepier and creepier. And Robin, God bless this kid, intrepid kid in 1886, she climbs out through a window, through a little crack in the basement, and runs away and makes her escape and tells the story, obviously. And people say they don't know who she's talking about. They don't think there's anyone out there. So they go, whatever, that's strange. So Robin survives. Good for her. In 1940, this is all the way up in 1940, in this very town, Burkittsville, there's a hermit living in these woods, a man named Rustin Parr. Rustin Parr abducted several kids from the town 7 children he abducted from this town. They were all walking in a group. Somehow he gets them back to his house. 3 days go by. They're looking for the kids. They don't know what happened. Rustin comes back into town. Again, he's like a hermit living off the grid. He comes back into town and he says, I'm finally finished. He goes to the police station and says, I'm finally finished. And the cops go, what? And he's like comatose and weird and they can't figure it out. And so the cops send a team out to the woods. Again, this is 1940. They go out there. They find his little shack and they find the 7 kids and he has murdered all of them. Grisly murders, like disemboweled these kids. And so they end up having to put him to death by hanging. They put him to death by hanging in the year 1941. He claims the whole time, he says, there was a woman who told me to do this. He says it was like a woman all in black, blah, 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 whatever his description was. And so to this day, Burkittsville, it's a town that's inundated with people who are into the occult. People come into this town all the time. They light candles in the cemetery, put votive candles on all the tombstones. They bother the residents of the town. I mean, some people like it. There are people in the town who sell merch about this, but there's also folks who are like, just leave me alone kind of thing. There was one woman in the town would let people use her bathroom who would come visit, and there was a group of people, or somebody came in and said, how dare you raise children in this town because of what's happened? And she's like, but this is where I live, man. Like, I'm just letting you use the pisser. What are we talking about? So the town is a bit divided on what's going on. The welcome to Burkittsville signs have been stolen over the years, so now they have to hide them, or they've had to remodel them so people don't want to steal them so much, because those things cost money. Now, the only problem with this story, right, is that everything I just said is a lie. It's all bullshit. All of this stuff is complete nonsense. Ellie Kedward isn't a person. It's actually an anagram for another person's name, Edward Kelly, who is a famous occultist in England. Somebody made this whole story up. But except for the part that people come to Burkittsville all the time. They still do, because Burkittsville is actually on the map because of all this lore. So it's a thing. But my question is, all these stories someone made up. But what do we know? We all know who Ellie Kedward is, and we know her by another name. With 35 seconds, by what name do we know Ellie Kedward? 35 seconds. Who is this mysterious woman? Just in case we ever monetize, I'm going to go like this. 25 seconds. Burkittsville, small town. Strange occurrences in the woods, disemboweling, children abducted, put into basements. What would we call her? We got some movie buffs over there. Emily knows. Yep, all right, good work. Well done, QVC. Her name is the Linda Blair Witch, Wonder Witch. That is the Blair Witch. That's the lore behind the Blair Witch Project. Well done, everybody. It is the filmmakers actually put a pitch reel together and made up all of those stories in order to get funding to make the original Blair Witch Project. So that is the story of the Blair Witch. There's more like disemboweling stuff that I left out because it would be a little too obvious. But because, like, come on, only so many people can get disemboweled. But that's it. Blair Witch. If you got it, 10 points. Congratulations. Good work. I think everybody did. That's an all skate. For as far as I'm concerned, we're all winners tonight. Emily, glad to see your face both in person and on Zoom. Dean, good to see you on Zoom. Larry, always a pleasure. QVC, good game as usual. You pulled some big ones out and also made some guesses of things that I've never heard of, like Lake Maracaibo. I'm going to make a promise to QVC. We'll put a question about Lake Maracaibo in there at some point. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. For everyone here at Trivia Ronin, which is myself and Doug, we're here to say thank you. Don't be a shitty person as much as possible. Get vaccinated. Do all that good stuff. And we will see you soon. Adios, muchachos. Happy Latinx History Month. Bye-bye.